In this video, we are going to discuss the top 10 plastic extrusion ERP systems in 2025. So let's dive right in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our #1 priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
My name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent vendor-agnostic technology advisory firm. We help our clients with the digital transformation strategy, technology selection, as well as change management. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be plastic extrusion ERP systems for this year. Before we look at the list, let's align our expectations in how we define plastic extrusion ERP systems and which companies and industries are going to be part of this list. So for the most part, even though it is a very specific list for plastic extrusion industry, it is going to capture the majority of the business models or the value chain that is going to be part of plastic extrusion in general. So that's going to be your distributors, manufacturers. And again, if you are looking for very specific information related to your industry and which product is going to be fit for which industry, pay very close attention to my commentary as I discuss the size of each of the ERP system, as well as some nuances from the industry perspective as well. The criteria that we have used to compile this list is product share, acquisition strategy. If they're acquiring a lot of products for plastic extrusion capabilities, generally they have much higher weight on our ranking system. Then we are looking at product roadmap, community, ecosystem, win rate, technology strategy, as well as the investors. On that note, let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is PEX. And overall, when you look at the plastic extrusion, in general, the kind of challenges you are going to have in this particular space, number one, it's going to be very heavy from the process manufacturing perspective, the way these industries work. In general, these products are very commoditized in nature. So your supply chain processes are going to be very heavy and you would require a lot more supply chain centric components. Sometimes you are going to have these plastic extrusion manufacturers and they might be supplying to other customers that are going to be slightly more B2B centric, and their processes are going to be very similar to aerospace. In aerospace, generally, each of the OEMs are going to require their branding requirements. In general, in aerospace, you have quality requirements. Here, you have a lot more because they are going to have a lot more marketing processes, the branding processes, and they want you to comply with all of those processes. And that is going to have implications on your financial processes, the way you are going to structure your customers, the way you are going to design your ERP processes. For the most part, Plex does really well in the automotive centric spaces, and anywhere you are going to have those plastic centric parts or the components in the automotive centric ecosystem, Plex does really well for those suppliers as well as for distributors. In general, the way Plex work is it took very MES first approach, so it's very deep into the plant centric capabilities, the MES, the manufacturing centric capabilities. It might not be as strong in the core ERP capabilities, so that's going to be a little negative for Plex. Overall, all of these plastic extrusion manufacturers still need to comply with the compliance and the quality processes of these OEMs, the way their reporting is going to work, the way they want you to share your product data, and the way they want you to use their data for your production processes. Now that interaction could be very thick, and in general, building that could require a lot of consulting effort, development effort, configuration effort, and those all are going to be built with Plex because Plex has the last mile capabilities for Ford and Toyota ecosystem. Plex was always very cloud native, so the technology is superior, but their R&D spend today is very limited. So the ecosystem is not doing as well just because they are part of hardware-centric company and they are not investing as much on the core software capabilities. So that's going to be a little negative for Plex. Now, limitations to keep in mind from the Plex perspective is the weaker plastic-centric. When you look at the way plastic operational planning works, especially from the manufacturing perspective, the way your work centers are going to be organized, the kind of wait time that you are going to require with each of the machines, it's a very different process in general, and that require very different scheduling capabilities, and those are going to be challenging with Plex because it's not necessarily designed for plastic extrusion. For some plastic extrusion manufacturer, it could be a great fit, but it's not a great fit for every single business. Overall, the business model is not as diverse because it's designed for very specific business processes, and it's not as well adopted among plastic extrusion manufacturers. So that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is SysPro. And SysPro is a very unique product and it's very successful in the plastic extrusion spaces. And the reason for that is because it's probably one of the smaller products which has both process and discrete components. And in general, the way large majority of the plastic manufacturers are, they are going to have some flavor of your discrete as well as of the process manufacturing, the way their manufacturing processes are structured. So that's why SysPro has a very unique positioning for those companies. SysPro in general also has very deep ERP inventory centric layers. The layers that are going to be limited in the Plex ecosystem from the ERP perspective, SysPro in general is very strong there. But the limitations with SysPro would be the global capabilities. And if you're very large, you require that multi-entity collaboration, global trade compliance, etc. All of those capabilities are not going to be built with SysPro. And the reason for that is because it's designed for slightly smaller companies. It's not necessarily designed for very large companies. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is QAD. And QAD is a much bigger product compared to your Plex and SysPro. It's going to have much larger logos where it's been proven. And QAD is a very unique product as well because it contains the unique elements of the supply chain suite plus ERP. And generally, you are going to find these elements of supply chain suite in the retail-centric spaces where operational processes, your inventory, your customer allocation, all of that generally reside into your supply chain suite layer. And the ERP layer is going to be just the GL from the accounting perspective. So just because they don't necessarily care for the inventory accuracy or for the costing of the products, just because those products are cheaper in general. So in those cases, QAD is going to be a great fit if you are going to have similar products in the plastic-centric extrusion space. Now, QAD is also strong in the contract manufacturing spaces. So any business processes that are going to be relevant from the contract manufacturing perspective, QAD is probably going to be a great fit there. Some limitations to keep in mind. Overall, the technology, even though they have created a new version, they are rewriting the whole platform. But even today, the technology is not as modern, and the new version that they are going to launch may not be as adopted, as proven. So you might have some challenges there. Ecosystem in general is limited compared to the other products that we have on this list. So those are going to be some of the challenges, and that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. And Oracle Cloud ERP in general is a much larger product compared to your QAD or any other products that we have covered so far on this list. So that's where you are going to get much deeper financial capabilities, much deeper global collaboration, global consolidation centric capabilities where each entity is going to go through different financial regulation. If you have those use cases, then Oracle Cloud ERP is going to be a great fit. Oracle Cloud ERP is going to be leaner in the operational plastic-centric capabilities. For that, sometimes companies use the plant-level operational products in conjunction with the GL layer, which is going to be hosted inside Oracle cloud ERP. So, but overall, if you are looking for slightly more horizontal product, you are trying to streamline many different business models and trying to consolidate all of those business models as part of the same transactional layer. If you are doing that, then Oracle Cloud ERP could be a great fit. So that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. SAP S/4HANA is very similar product as your Oracle Cloud ERP. It's also designed for those large use cases. It's going to have much deeper product-centric capabilities when you look at the kind of strategies that you are going to have from the MRP perspective. If you are very strong in those MRP workloads, when you are very large, in those cases, SAP S/4HANA is going to be a great fit. It is going to be limited in terms of those operational capabilities. When you look at those plant level capabilities from the scheduling perspective, etc., they might not be as flavored and tailored for plastic centric verticals. But overall, the customer hierarchy, etc., it's going to have enough layers to be able to accommodate the kind of things that you are going to need to comply with those customer processes when they are going to send very specific marketing processes. But again, from the operational perspective, it might not be as deep. So that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is Appicore Kinetic. And Appicore Kinetic does well in some of the plastic verticals, depending upon which vertical it is. So Appicore Kinetic is really deep into discrete manufacturing processes. It does have some process manufacturing component, but process manufacturing in general is not very strong with Appicore Kinetic. So if you have very discrete centric operations from the plastic perspective, you're serving automotive, very similar to QAD, then Appicore Kinetic could be a great fit. If you have very complex inventory, sometimes Appicore Kinetic does really well in that. But for the most part, Appicore Kinetic is probably going to struggle in a lot of different plastic-centric verticals where you are going to require very deep plastic-centric capabilities. So that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is Aptean Process Manufacturing ERP. And Aptean Process Manufacturing ERP is flavored for process manufacturing centric verticals. The kind of challenges that you are going to run into with your Appicore Kinetic, Aptean Process Manufacturing is going to be much better. The challenge with the plastic extrusion manufacturing is that these business models require a lot of different capabilities from the discrete perspective, from the process perspective. So Aptean Process Manufacturing is going to have a lot of pure play process manufacturing capabilities. Appicore Kinetic is going to have discrete pure play capabilities, but generally these companies require both of them. That's why both products are going to struggle equally. But generally the process manufacturing component is deeper with plastic extrusion companies. That's why Aptean Process Manufacturing ERP is superior fit. And again, depending upon your product type, the kind of product type you are building, the kind of customers you are serving, that could dictate which ERP system is going to be a better fit for you. But for the most part, if you're going to be very heavy from the process manufacturing perspective, it is going to have a lot of tailored plastic-centric extrusion capabilities, the way plastic extrusion companies operate, at least in the process manufacturing spaces. The limitations that you're looking at, again, it's a very purpose-built product. So if you are going to be very pure play process manufacturing, then it's a great fit. But anything outside of that is probably going to have a lot of challenges with the product. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite M3. And Infor Cloud Suite M3 also has very similar challenges as your other process manufacturing products, such as your Aptean, because Infor Cloud Suite M3 is really designed for retail, supply chain, and process manufacturing centric processes. So it's not going to have very deep discrete component. And again, depending upon the kind of product type you are building, if you are going to have very deep discrete needs as well, then again, that's where your Infor Cloud Suite M3 is going to run into challenges. The advantage of Infor Cloud Suite M3 compared to your Aptean process manufacturing ERP is Infor Cloud Suite M3 is going to have a lot more capabilities from the global trade compliance perspective, global trade, entity collaboration, multi-entity centric functionality. If you are going to be globally present and require all of those capabilities from the operational collaboration perspective, then your Infor Cloud Suite M3 is going to be a great fit. And that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O. And Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O is going to be equally good at both process manufacturing as well as your discrete manufacturing. Both of those are built as part of the core to accommodate both of those business models. It's going to have a lot of supply chain centric processes, core ERP layers, as well as the global ERP capabilities. All of those are going to be packaged as part of the product. That's why Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O is a superior fit, because you are getting both discrete plus process, and those are very thick. You are not necessarily compromising on one versus the other. So you are getting the nice balance, but at the same time, you are also getting very deep global consolidation financial capabilities as well. So that's a huge plus, and that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Dalmia Works, and which is the IQMS product. In general, if you look at the plastic extrusion space, this was the go-to system always for the plastic extrusion manufacturers. For the most part, this was the most commonly used system across the plastic extrusion companies. And the reason for that is the way the product is designed. It has all of those components, whether you are looking at the process plus discrete, plus the operational scheduling components for the plastic extrusion companies, or the compliance centric processes. And that's why the IQMS or Dalmia Works product does really well in the aerospace as well. And the reason why they do well in the aerospace, because they are also going to have very similar requirements from the OEM perspective to mandate that, okay, you need to follow this particular process just for me because I'm giving you this business. So those processes are very common in aerospace. Those are also common in Dalmia Works. And this is going to be very similar to Epicor Kinetic as well, because that does very well in the aerospace too. So that's why Dalmia Works has all of those processes for the customer specific requirements for any of the contract centric plastic extrusion manufacturers. Plus they are going to have all of those discrete plus process plus scheduling plus a lot more from the operational processes perspective. Some of the limitations, overall technology ecosystem may not be as strong. So those are some of the negatives, and that's number 1. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include a link with the detailed report that is going to have much deeper analysis. So you might want to check that. We publish these videos on a weekly basis. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you prefer audio form, this podcast is also available on major podcasting channels. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.